Hello and welcome to the recap of round 6. We just have one game left in the GMT tournament, and at the moment Grandmaster Le Quang is leading. Let's have a look at the rankings. So you see Le Quang with a 3 points lead over Esipenko and a 4.5 points lead over Gukesh. So the only player who could potentially catch up, potentially become third is Abdul Sattarov, but for that he needs to win tomorrow and he needs Gukesh to lose. So that a lot of things that have to happen for him for for the top three. I mean, Gukesh would be out of the top three for the first time in the world event, but that is still a possibility because he has a tough game against Salem tomorrow. Let's have a look at today's results. So Esipenko won with black against Abdul Sattarov. That was a really important game so that Abdul Sattarov cannot catch him anymore in the standings, and Le Quang beat Arkady Nedic quite easily with white. Nedic who is definitely out of shape in this tournament. The other games were drawn. Gukesh could not get any advantage against Kamsky, and Keimer looked close to winning against Salem, but I assume that, well, actually I did not see the end of the game, but I assume that Black just defended well, and the game ended in a draw, in a game that doesn't influence the standings very much. Let's have a look at today's games, at least the two decisive results. So as I said, Nedic did not have a good game. This typical plan to put the queen on d2 and then later put the bishop on b2 is something that became popular in different kind of positions. So white is developing a5 is prophylaxis in order to play a4 against b3, but of course white is kind of stopping it, but black did it anyway. To sacrifice opponent plays d5. That makes a lot of sense. Bishop b4 and knight e4 are being straightened. So white should be careful what he's doing. But he simply played c5 to stop bishop b4, knight e4, queen b2. Black had to move the rook or to play f6, which was not really looking any better. Bishop b5, so white is giving the pawn back, but then black is left with a horrible king in the center. So Nedic tried to play active moves, but white made it simple, played f3 so that the knight goes away, and then played a couple of solid moves. So Nedic got some sort of drawing chances since he's only a pawn down and white has double a pawns. But the problem is that the black king is weaker and white has a very big potential target on b7. And in the game, Le Quang demonstrated this very well. He just he tried to exchange the s7 rook, which is defending the b7 pawn quite efficiently. He moved his king to g2. He just improved his pieces one by one. And after a few moves were played, there was no attack for black. And at the end of the day, white avoided every threat, and here black had to resign because if he defends this pawn, then this pawn is falling. So I think Le Quang could have been more precise in that game. At least that's my feeling. But I don't think black was ever really back in the game. I mean, at some point it looked better and white had to do concessions, but there is no checkmate, and this rook is helpless. So I think that was just an easy victory for Le Quang. And the other decisive result was Abdul Sattarov against Esipenko. So Esipenko played, when it was an Italian, just a solid variation, you know. a4, b5. So normally you don't play b4, a4 so brutally because after a5, b5, there is no square on b5 for the knight. Generally you wait to see what white is doing. You play, for example, a4 first, then if a5, you bring something to b5 sometimes, or you just take advantage um, of the extra a2 square for the bishop, so there is no knight a5 in any position. And a4, if black plays a6, then b4, a5, you gain some space. So b4, a4 is, I think, a little bit unusual, but on the other hand, I'm really far from being a specialist of the Italian. Let's say that I was not, when I was studying it, I was not pushing b4, a4 so quickly. So black just played normally. White has a very tough center, but it's very, and he has an open f file, but it's very difficult to do something out of it. White is just playing, black is just playing normal moves, and from the moment he managed to play d5, then he's definitely doing more than fine. Bishop d3, some pieces were exchanged, and black was just better. If rook takes, there is a little tactics with bishop c6. So bishop c6 was played. Okay, we can continue for a few moves. Black tried to trade some pieces, but black only did it after he got, first black tried to checkmate white. b6 is an excellent move, followed by a very nice tactics. I should have let you think a little bit more about this. Black is dominating the position, but how to unblock it? b6 is just a wonderful move. Rook takes b2. So you might think that the idea is rook e2, but then after check, white can trade queens. He's gonna lose this pawn, but he's sort of surviving. But after bishop takes g2, as in the game, then white is in big trouble. If he takes with the queen, it's just check followed by rook e2. And if he takes with the king, then that should not be much better, but let me think. That could easily be a checkmate. Let's say that white covers, then check, the rook wants to get in, and if you go there, then check, and rook e2 anyway. It looks like at the end of the day, white is going to lose his queen. So white did not take the bishop, he played queen d3, but now just queen d5, and that very important pawn fold. Queen c4 back, so they repeated. It's very funny, the bishop is still not hanging. Queen a2, queen b1, white is definitely trying to exchange queens, but black does not want it, so white exchanges rocks instead. But bishop c6, it looks like, material is equal, it doesn't, and there are very few pieces, but actually the white king is very weak, and this is a future very big target for black. So black just played it simple. It's very difficult to defend the c3 pawn. Also, bishop c6 is a terrible threat. So white had to prevent bishop c6, but that cost him the c3 pawn. And the players turned around. At some point, white even got some slight chances, but, well, really slight. That was just 2 pawns, h5, knight b7, g5, bishop takes a4, and the pawns are just advancing. The bishop on c2 is great. It is really taking all the squares of the white knight. So black just pushed his pawns. Now d7 is a threat, but you don't care. You play h2, and here black resigns. Checking doesn't help. Just king e8, and if d7, h1, d8 queen, it's just queen e4 check, and queen takes e6, and it's game over. So a very, very nice move, this bishop takes g2. When you see such moves, that really shows that you are in great shape. But as we saw already, this is only enough for second place so far, because Duck Wang is winning so many games. He was a bit lucky yesterday, but today was definitely a clean game. And, well, tomorrow, let's see if I can get the pairings. I can't get them on the screen, but Um, let's see if I can. Okay, it doesn't. I can't get them on the screen, unfortunately, or I don't know how to do it. That's also a possibility. I was just given a short course on how to make these recaps. Anyway, Le Quang is not insured to win the tournament with a draw because, well, he is. Wait, we saw that he has a 3 points lead, I think. If I manage to move the mouse. I thought it was a 2 points lead. 2 points lead. It's a 3 points lead. So if Le Quang makes a draw tomorrow, then he's winning the tournament. Only a Sipenko can catch him because there is already 4.5 points difference with Gukesh. So that's, I mean, not anything is guaranteed, but it is quite likely that Le Quang will win the tournament, and then the second and third place are still very unlikely, even if the most probable scenario is that the standings will remain as they are, at least for the top four, I would say, perhaps top five. Thank you for watching this recap. Tomorrow is going to be a super exciting day. I mean, the GMT is undecided, even if we kind of think that Le Quang is going to make it. But nothing is sure yet. It's always nice when there is no winner before the last round. In the ladies quadriathlon, things also went crazy. Let me check who is leading right now. I just wrote a report, but I'm so tired that I forgot. If I'm not wrong, Morakini is now leading, because I only have the classical chess rankings. If I'm not wrong, Morakini is now leading with 32 points, but there are so many players that can catch up. Tomorrow is going to be extremely exciting in this tournament as well. In the MTO, we have two leaders, which are Alexenko and Muradli, and they will play together tomorrow. Usually, when two players are leading before the last round, you're expecting them to make a draw, but Alexenko is ahead by a rating by 200 points. He has a white pieces. I'm pretty sure he will go for a win to be the sole winner of the tournament. And then we have four players with 6 points. Some of them have a fantastic tiebreak and could definitely catch up with the leaders tomorrow. When I mean catch up, I mean that they could even finish ahead of them if they win their games. So nothing decided. And also in the ATO, we have three leaders, one Syrian player, whom I don't remember the name. I'm going to find the names here. So we have Mayed from Syria, Chopra from India, and a difficult name. Oh, guys, you're not making my life easy. Barara Jai Gundepundi, all three with 7 points. So nothing decided in any of the tournaments. The suspense is total, and tomorrow will be the first chess fan to watch the games and hopefully do the recap for you after that. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.